Hi, welcome back to the Chasing Tone podcast. I'm Travis.
I'm Max.
No, I'm Brian.
He's Brian. He's funny, Brian. He's laughing. Funny.
I'm just getting over my infection.
Oh, yeah. Did you get some penicillin?
Yeah. I got some penicillin.
Get some coffee. Then you get hyper Brian.
Dude, I had coffee.
I know, you can't stop talking.
I can't stop.
And you just did push-ups.
I can never stop
story.
talking. Yeah. No,
and you
I
showed some karate moves.
Yeah, no, that's shadow boxing. That's my signature moves. You guys can't show those because if you ever get in some stuff, you're going to need to know your way to get out of it. And I'm telling you, the punch elbow move, it'll work. I've never used it because I'm not a fighter, but imagine if it ever arose.
I can do that in Mortal Kombat.
What is that?
Up, over, ABBA square, up. Fatal, flawless victory.
Flawless victory. Finish him. Yeah.
Select.
Yeah, right? Cheat codes. But, yeah, so I my problem is with coffee. My wife always makes fun of me. Is like, I can't sip it. I don't like it enough to sip it. I just like the effects that it has on me. So I chug it as fast as possible.
I noticed you said, I'm going to get coffee, and you came back like a minute and said, all right, that was good.
Yeah,
I think you had like beer funnel back there with coffee or something.
Yeah, I come back like literally probably 5 minutes later, and that's after brewing it for the Keurig. And then Max goes, "Where's your coffee, dude?" I was like, "In my tummy." In my tummy. But this is a podcast about tone, not coffee.
It's true.
Although if we had beards and V-necks and we talked about coffee, we'd be cool.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would make us cool though.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for me. I mean, it probably would take more than the V-neck or beard.
I'm wondering when this hipster phase is going to end.
I hope it ends soon because I really like beer. They're ruining everything I like.
Well, it will because I remember listening to I remember when Marilyn Manson came out, and like it was cool at first. I was like, oh, all right, cool, and then it just became like Alice Cooper, you know what I mean, shock rock, and then it was like I remember saying to myself, and I was kind of a kid. I was like, what, 18 maybe, but I was like, man, can't wait for this to be over because you knew it's going to be over.
Right.
So the lumbersexual thing is what people call it, lumbersexual, the flannels, the beards.
I hope that goes
That's what that's called?
That's what people are calling it now because they don't like to be called hipsters. So basically it's like
lumbersexual?
Lumbersexual. That's
what does that have to do with sexuality and lumber?
I have no idea. I guess they're looking like lumberjack. But you know these guys belong to the shave club. You know they're getting on Google and they're looking how to give more sheen to their beards, buttercreams and everything. It's like, come on, cut it off. Cut off your beard. You know?
I don't know.
Right?
Some people can look good in a beard. Not me.
It's true.
Mine is white.
Some women look good in a beard.
I've seen them at the circus. Anyway, guitar tone.
Yes, guitar tone.
Okay. Unfortunately, this one I have a really, really quick answer, so I'll let you guys elaborate before I chime in. But James Cavender writes, I play in a praise/worship band, and I play a lot of different styles of songs. I like to use different guitars depending on the set. For example, switching from a Strat with single coils to a humbucker, Les Paul, or P90s, etc. What is a good approach to keeping a consistent sound when using multiple guitars? I mean, I can answer it real quick, or you guys can take it.
No, go ahead.
A volume pedal. And I mean, I'm not trying...
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a smart aleck there, but it's like... I mean, granted, there are going to be EQ things. Like, especially if you're playing at any kind of volume. Like, a lot of people that don't play at loud volumes... and that's one thing I forget is a lot of people don't. A lot of people, live in like you're an apartment guy. So like, so it's like, you can't really blast out, Not
without making everybody mad.
But what is the one frequency that kills your tone as you turn up your amp? Bass.
Sure.
It completely does. So I understand that if you're playing single coils, you're going to want to add some bass. And if you go to humbuckers, you're probably going to want to, subtract some bass. But if you don't have time, I think probably a volume pedal's the way to go. Max brought up something interesting, though.
Yeah. Billy Gibbons, a guitar tech, Elwood, actually has a huge EQ, which has like automated presets. You can program like 7 or 8 presets, whatever it is. And then
78 presets.
And as Billy changes the guitars, Elwood will actually hit the corresponding number on the parametric EQ. And then I'll actually change it all. So all his guitars kind of stay consistent. And that's pretty extreme and overboard.
Yeah, but it's an option. So I mean,
it is an option. Yeah,
if you're Billy Gibbons, you
can
do that.
That being said, though, and we talked about this last episode about how many gear companies are coming up and how there's something for everyone. If there's something on that grand a scale, chances are somebody else is doing it on a smaller scale.
Probably is, yeah.
You know, I know.
I'm sure there's some sort of preset. I'm sure Source Audio
probably
or somebody
MIDI
does
or
it.
something. You know.
Yeah.
I can see it being MIDI
I think
controlled.
Boss, don't they have, or maybe they used to have some sort of EQ pedal that had presets?
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that'd be something to really look at. I mean, I'd have to Google it to get you more of an answer, or you can Google it yourself. Yeah, so
No, actually, let me just Google that for you.
yeah. Let me Google it, monkey. Right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. That would be my volume pedal. Would probably be the easiest thing on the fly, and that's how I took my volume pedal off my board.
You did?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it back on because I wanted to put my Wiki Waka pedal on it, and like it's so funny. I was doing a gig last night, and I went to hit my wah wah pedal, and like I was just doing a solo, whatever, and I hit my wah wah pedal. I was like, this will sound good here. I hit it, and it was like, wah, wah. I was like, nope, turned it off. And then later on in the night, the last song, I was like, it was a Hendrix tune, so I was like, why not? Let's go all in. Let's go fuzz and wah wah pedal. So I went to the wah wah pedal. I was like, wah, wah. Nope. I hate them. I like them clean for rhythm stuff, but I always sound like, I don't know. Everything sounds like Kurt Hammett.
I don't think you found the right one yet.
I don't know, man. It's probably because I'm cheap. Because I kind of take, and not saying you're cheap, hear me out before I say this, but I take the Brian Wampler method to that. It's like with correct me if I'm wrong,
okay,
but a wah-wah pedal, the basic wah circuit doesn't change tone. It just, it changes tone, but it changes frequencies. It just makes it go wah.
Kind of, yeah.
Right?
Or what? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So like the basic, for the layman term.
Right, yeah.
So basically, there's not much you can, like, the difference between...
I mean, I think Tease did one with like a 5-band EQ on it or something.
Right.
I mean, and everybody and their brothers come out with their version of
Right.
that same exact circuit.
Right.
With their,
name.
Now you can change this resistor with a variable pot.
Right.
It's the Q function, or it's the...
Right, and I
whatever.
guess the thing I'm getting at is, to me, and this is... I'm going to make a lot of people angry here, but to me, the
You already did when you start talking about beards. That was like 10 minutes ago.
I'm a lover section. I'm allowed to listen to this.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So just...
Yeah, why stop now?
Why stop?
Dude, I wouldn't be me if I wasn't offending somebody.
That's true.
True.
You know?
That's true.
It's like, not that I'm saying I'm George Carlin or Howard Stern, but that's why you like those people, because they will offend everyone. Like, I was cool with George Carlin until he said white people effed up the blues.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of George Carlin's things. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have the knowledge or work for someone that has the knowledge, then what is the difference between a $79 Vox Wah-Wah and a $300 RMC?
Okay, let's assume they're the same circuit, which they possibly could be.
Let's assume they're not, is what I'm saying.
I mean, what am I trying to say?
Based off the same.
Yeah, let's say they don't have all the knobs. You can adjust stuff.
Just all you do is it's an on-off switch.
Right. So it's probably going to have better parts.
Okay.
It's probably going to have a better circuit board.
Okay.
It's probably going to have a better pot in it.
Okay.
And it's probably going to have a better inductor in it.
Okay.
More accurate, and it's probably going to be more accurate from
tolerance
piece to piece to piece to piece. So
okay,
if you get one of those and you get another one a year later, they'll probably sound alike. Versus your $59 one that you buy, you may buy 4 of them and one of them sounds great and the other sounds decent.
So a lot of it's quality control.
I think so. I mean,
okay.
I mean,
but let me ask
person
you,
can only. I mean, you can't build. How do I put this? You can't build anything for $79,
right?
Without
cutting corners.
Without cutting corners somewhere.
But I guess what I'm getting at.
So
here,
you either pay someone in China to do it, like an 8-year-old in China to do it, or you don't have
8-year-old. That's because they're experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
they've been there a couple years.
Yeah, it's that's. There's just.
But I guess what I'm getting at is, and I'm gonna probably offend a lot of people that make wah-wah pedals, but
keep going.
It's like, right? Why not? Why stop now? But if you know a guy like Joe Schoolcraft, it's like I guess it comes down to the knowledge and access to parts and all this stuff. But
Or
like,
Jake.
yeah, or Jake Steffes. But if you know somebody like that, I understand not everybody knows a guy like that, but you could take a $79 wah-wah pedal and make it sound as good as a $200 wah-wah pedal.
Yeah, I mean, we used to modify those back in the day.
We don't do it
I've-
anymore. Don't email us. We don't do that anymore.
You know what?
Hashtag mod shop.
Especially here recently, I've honestly been thinking about doing more mods just because kind of getting bored.
Would you personally do them, or would you teach a guy like me to do them?
I don't know. I'd probably maybe me and someone else or something.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, unless that started like piling up, then I'd have to have more people help too. But I mean, I don't know. You know how I am. I'm always if we're doing one thing, I get bored of that, and I'm like, let's do some mods for a while.
Yeah.
You know.
But I don't know, like I think a lot of it, what it stems from is, like you said, I haven't found the right wah pedal, or I don't know how to use them with my setup. Because to me, they all sound the same. I've used one where I was like, I would buy that, but it wasn't for sale.
Just, I mean, and that could just be like that was the same circuit, but it was the one where everything came together in the right way and it sounded good.
It was one of those like Thomas Organ ones from like the early 70s.
Just basically the same circuit.
It's exactly the same circuit.
So,
right? I mean, for the most part. So I don't know. It's just...
It's kind of like fuzz faces in a way. I mean...
But they also... Yeah. I
mean,
guess.
If you're looking at them on a schematic, I mean, for the biggest part, they're all basically the same.
Right.
But they're all over the place. Big muffs, same way.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I'm going to stop by your house. I'm going to bust in, and I'm going to steal that big muff.
The
It's
door's
in
unlocked.
pieces.
It's in pieces?
Yeah.
No!
Because...
Where's the prototypes?
They're on the way.
Is one headed to me?
I got 3 coming.
So is one headed to me?
Maybe. I'll sell it to you.
Yeah, so I'll buy it. I will. Just
Trade your Marshall for it.
Garnish my wages. I could make a joke there, but I won't because I've already offended enough people. Bob Carr, right? No. I mean, did you have anything? I mean, you said the EQ thing. I mean, volume pedal,
I've
right?
exceeded my 150 characters.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the easiest and cheapest way,
Yeah.
other than reaching down and turn the volume down on something.
Right, or EQ, because I think a lot of it is like, because if we say volume, James will come back and say, rightly so, it's not so much a volume thing, it's an EQ thing.
Yeah, and that might just be the difference between guitars. I mean,
Yeah.
Pick one guitar you really like. Just use that.
And just use, but that's like just eat pizza for the rest of your life with one topping.
I don't see the problem. With
You'd never want a donut. You'd never want cake
or biscuits and
or
gravy.
biscuit or B's and G's.
Let's combine them all. I got nothing there.
Imagine putting all that in a blender.
You could do that.
You can do that. I get Bob Carr writes. So this might be a monkey question, but Travis keeps referring to people playing the Gin and Tonic Scale. What the heck is that?
Answer it, monkey.
Yeah, answer it, monkey. No, it's the pentatonic scale, but it rhymes, and the reason being is like if you've had a little bit too much to drink in a bar, that's the one scale you'll always remember. You can default into the Gin and Tonic Scale.
Or if you're just a really bad blues player like me,
You're not really
you
bad.
can default into
You're not really bad. You're a good player, man. You just
like that Gin Tonic Scale.
just lazy when it comes to learning new things. On the guitar. No, Max is like, when it comes to guitar, he's like, man, this sounds really good. This sounds really good. I think I'm good here for a while.
I'm going to stick with this. Well, because I'm forgetting you stuff. But heck, it took me, a year and a half to relative minor. There it is. I understand this now.
You want to know why you don't understand it? Because you never come to me and say, not that I'm like this great guitar player, but you never come to me and be like, hey, show me something.
Well, because we're more busy hey, you want a beer? Or here's the latest corny joke.
I don't have corny jokes. I have excellent jokes.
Sure.
I just can't tell them here.
Without offending even more people.
Yeah, I don't offend people. People get offended on their own. But that's what the Gin and Tonic Scale is.
So,
hey, you choose to be offended. Isn't that what Eleanor Roosevelt said?
I was trying to think of the Talladega Nights, the opening line. It's all about a hot, nasty, badass speed. Eleanor Roosevelt.
No,
I'm pretty sure she didn't say that.
No, she said something like, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Right? It's a pretty good quote. Yeah, that's what she said. That's just for real. I'm not
Googling it. I'm gonna take your word on it.
No, yeah, Google it. It's fine, but it may not be verbatim, but it's pretty close to that. But anyway, basically, you could say that too. No one can offend you without your consent. Right?
I am the walrus.
That's why I say
cuckoo.
So if I'm offending you, that's your fault.
Exactly. If I offend you, I forgive you. Because it's your fault.
And you can email responses back to Travis at wamplermetals.com.
Okay. That's just a way to make me sleep at night. But Richard Morris writes, this is really, really long. I'm going to take this in sections.
Yeah, this was a long one.
Okay. Could you discuss hand-wound pickups versus machine-wound pickups? I realize some pickups are better than others. I'm going to draw attention to that so I don't have to edit it out. See how I did that? Brian just coughed because he's sick. Huh?
Was sick.
Right?
Sick. I'm a recovering sickie.
I'm a recovering sickaholic. But what do you call those people? Hypochondriacs? Sickaholics?
Sure.
Right?
Richard Morris writes.
My grandma was one. But could you discuss hand-wound pickups versus machine-wound pickups? I realize some pickups are better than others. There is a right way and a wrong way to build them, but is there really that much of a difference? And is the difference better? Oh, my pickups are scatter-wound, so a machine can do that. So Max was talking about, I'm going to let you take the leads on this, man.
Okay, there's a couple different ones. Hand-wound. Well, first of all, machine wound is a preset, and it winds your pickup to these exact specs that are already programmed in the machine. Hand wound typically isn't your pickup and you're winding the spool by hand. If you actually did that, you'd probably murder your fingers because that spool wire is so thin.
And it has to be stretched so tight.
And it's so tight, you'd probably almost lop off a finger. Part of the reason I don't try to wind them myself. Anyways, no, like hand wound, typically you have like a pedal on a floor, like a sewing machine pedal. And you're varying the speed manually versus having your machine do it. And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But what I've seen, and I don't know for sure because I've never wound my own pickups, but like the machine wound ones, it's actually on like an axis or whatever, the actual bobbin. And then, it spins on its own and does everything. But the hand wound ones, basically what they're doing is they may have it on a pencil or something, but they have it in their hands and they're guiding the wire.
Correct. Yeah.
So they're not actually hand wiring. All they are is guiding the wire windings onto the bobbin.
But you can get scattered like that.
The argument could be said that produces a less predictable thing that could be cooler.
Potentially, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. But the thing is they still have a counter.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like
every revolution it's ticking it off.
Yeah, so it's like they still have counters. I mean, I guess you could eyeball it, and not do it at a counter and then just keep measuring the resistance, right? I guess you could.
Sure.
Yeah, because you just measure the resistance of them, and it's just in ohms, right? It's just impedance, right?
Yeah, it's just another crafty thing, or a mastercraft thing. You look at people like Abigail Yarborough or any of those cats. They've done it for so long, they know exactly how to wind their pickup, and really fine tune it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something I should ask Don Grosh about.
Yeah,
and I'm not doing this as a plug. It's just there's a couple companies that I just truly believe in as far as pickups, and number one are those Grosh pickups, the 60s Fats, man.
Jason Lawler, same way,
man. Yeah. And
Von Scallon's been. I actually need to put those pickups in my guitar, but
I haven't tried his.
I just got a set at NAMM. I want to put him in one of my Telecasters and see.
Also,
see how they like, but he knows everything about pickups.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I also like the John Suhr stuff too. Those Fletcher Landows. I don't know if
tried those.
I want to try that silent single coil system. Have you heard of this?
From Fender?
No, from Suhr.
He's cracking himself up.
That was really funny in my head.
But shame it didn't come across that way. No, I'm joking.
I just like because Brian's face got so red. I was like, genius, Brian, genius.
He's like, I'm going to write for SNL. But no, basically it's this electronic system, and you hook it into it's a backplate, and then you wire it into your pickup somehow, and it eliminates the 60 cycle hum. from single
So it's on
coils.
a circuit board.
Yeah. Mhm.
Keeley was doing some pickups at one time on a circuit board.
Was he? Okay.
I mean, it's been several
Well,
years
the
ago.
pickups aren't on a circuit board. It's the back plate.
Ooh.
And you wire it into your passive pickups.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it works. I played actually a Grosh guitar with that thing on it. Dave just got a Grosh.
Did he?
Yeah, he's keeping it for himself. I told him, good.
Yeah.
He's wanted one forever. But anyway, so that kind of wraps up the pickups thing for me. To me, I guess you could argue there's really no such thing as hand-wound pickups, the way people really think of hand-wound pickups.
I mean, I did a fourth grade science fair project like that. And I actually wound it by hand.
Want to pick for guitar pickup?
Yeah, just to show how it works.
In
and
fourth
stuff.
grade?
In fourth grade, yeah.
Guitar pickup.
Yeah, guitar pickup. It was really simple. It didn't even have volume control. It was right to an in and out. Then I put it over an acoustic guitar and strummed it. And
Did
threw
you
a
have
little crate
individual magnetic poles or just
in.
one?
No, I actually had three.
Three.
I had a cardboard
Bobbin?
bobbin plate, and then the metal poles, and they're made out of screws, I think.
Were you explaining the concept of guitar?
Yeah,
tone
how
at
it
that
worked
time?
and how electromagnets and all that stuff. I was a nerd even then. I told you. That.
Not me. I figured out which one was like the easiest science fair project, and it was like, here's an experiment. Which brand battery lasts longer? You just turn a radio on and then like figure out which one still plays longer.
Which car gets hotter, white or black?
Yeah.
The white one is cooler.
And then my favorite one is like, this is like when I realized they basically just give ribbons for participation. I made one that was like, you know, you do it on this construction paper. You put a light bulb and a socket at one end, then you put wires and you wire it to the potato. You know what I'm talking about? You seen this before?
I've seen it. I never had to do anything
Right.
like that.
Okay. So we did that, right? And then we got it to the science fair. I never tested it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was trying to figure this out by myself as a little kid. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I never tested it. I did it how like we used to have these like books. Books are these things like analog
Computers.
But we had back in the day we had this like kit of like things you could do like for your kid or whatever.
Right.
And you know I opened up one of these books, got to science fair, never once tried it, plugged that son of a gun in. Absolutely nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened.
You should have failed, is what you're saying.
Oh, completely. And I
Good for you.
got like the same ribbon as like somebody that made like the volcano that erupted with baking soda. You know, they're like, good for you.
You tried.
You tried.
Yeah, right. I was like, yeah, man.
I never had to do any sort of science projects like that ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Isn't it funny that's what you do for a living now? Science project?
what's even funnier is that I almost flunked high school and never went to college.
Yeah. Right?
But that's because I'm an electronics genius.
Yeah, no, pedal genius.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, pedal genius. But so he goes on, Richard does, and he says, too many guitar players are willing to buy all sorts of snake oil and pixie dust or promise of mojo.
Mm-hmm.
Handmade guitars, they're all handmade, you jackwagon. So, and
I like
that,
the voice there. That was
yeah,
good.
well, that's what I imagine Richard Moore sounds like when he says that.
Yeah, jackwagon.
Yeah, jackwagon, right? No? Okay, so to me, what do you want me to take it? You guys want to take it?
Do
Go
it.
for it, man.
Okay, so like there's a difference between handmade guitars and hand assembled guitars. All guitars are hand assembled. You know what I mean? Like let's say you even the Chinese guitars that, you know, you buy that are $100 or $80, somebody is assembling those.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah, it's just everything else is like assembly line stuff, you know? It's just like you cut the piece of wood with a machine or whatever. But there are some people like Charles Whitfield and Don Grosh who are actually like, you know, they're manufacturing their own bodies, manufacturing their own necks. They're not just parts casters. Like,
They're not just ordering parts from somewhere and painting them, putting them together.
right, you know, and it's like, you know, some of your favorite brands out there, boutique brands, and I won't mention any names.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, they order their parts. Can I tell the site that they order them from?
Sure.
USACustomGuitars.com. And they will actually, if you have a headstock design, you can say, hey, can you make this headstock design for me? And then you can order their parts, assemble them, you know. And don't get me wrong, they're still great guitars because they take the time to hand assemble one at a time. They paint them or they have cool features,
Right.
you know. So, but they're not handmade. You know what I mean? They're ordering parts and they're assembling them. Like for instance, my second favorite Telecaster I've ever played in my life. Number one being the Whitfield.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is one that I assembled.
The green one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
I'd
guitar.
agree with that. Yeah.
It's a great, like, I'll never forget when the first time you played it, you're like, oh my gosh, where'd you get this? I said, well, I assembled it.
Yeah, because I wanted to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. But, and the thing is basically, I ordered every part from All Parts. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want to put a lot of money in it, except for the pickups. There's Lawler in the bridge, and then Fralin in the neck. But but anyways, what it was is I took my time. I have a basic knowledge of how to fret dress and things like that. So that doesn't make it to me any less of a guitar, But I don't know. To me, there's a difference between handmade and assembled. Mm-hmm. So I don't think. I will say one thing. When somebody hand makes a guitar, I think their attention to detail is going to be better. So maybe this goes back to like what you're saying with the walls, the quality control. Because like if somebody sends me a neck or a body, I'm not really going to inspect that aspect of it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to inspect like the components of my electronics, my fret dressings, and all that stuff. But if I manufacture, I'm probably going to every square inch of that guitar is going to be perfect.
Right.
I don't know. So that's probably why.
Sure.
And a lot of things people don't realize is when you pay a lot of money, you're paying for man hours. Mm-hmm. You really are, because let's face it. Let's say I got $500 in the parts of a guitar, and I assemble it, and it takes me 10 hours. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's being conservative.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. And it's like, and I sell it for $550. I paid myself $5 an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why these people who carve guitars and are doing all this stuff, like Frank Falbo, this guitar he showed me, man, it was the prototype for what he's getting ready to do. Oh man, it was all by hand, like no machines. Like he was carving and sanding and carving and sanding.
Actually, use a chainsaw to cut that piece of wood.
Cut down the piece of wood with a chainsaw. You should have seen this guitar.
Wow.
And I loved it because the width of the nut, not the thickness of the neck, but the width was that's a weird word, width. But anyway, it was like a little bit bigger.
The wideness, I think, is what you're looking for. The wideness.
The wideness. But it was so comfortable. But he said that it was a little too specific to certain players, so he's going to change it for the production model. But yeah, this guitar, and I think somebody's bought it for like $10,000.
Yeah, it was already sold.
It was already sold.
Really?
Yeah. But at $10,000, he still didn't make a lot of money because all the time that went into that guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think a lot of it is the mojo or the pixie dust. I think it's the man hours.
Because for stuff like that, yeah.
Attention to detail.
That's a whole lot different than him buying some parts.
Right.
Putting them together and saying, it's a $10,000 guitar.
Right. And it's the same thing as like
some electric guitar builders are basically doing that.
Yes.
So
it's the same thing as like let's say you go to Value City Furniture and you pick something that you put together.
Which is value for everyone who doesn't know. Value City Furniture is like
a furniture outlet with a lot of stuff that you have to assemble.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like stuff made out of, this isn't like made in China type.
Yeah, particle board stuff,
So it's not like super duper high quality, but it's basically, unless you're rich,
it's a
that's where
step
you're
up
buying
from like
furniture.
Walmart and stuff. Some of it's nice, you know what I mean? But, and I'm not trying to slam it, but, or if you go to a custom cabinet maker or, somebody that does woodworking, it's going to be better quality and it's the man hours. That's what you're paying for, right?
Yeah.
And you're assembling a guitar, kind of,
yeah.
over the course of 4 years.
Just need to get some pickups.
So let's see, 2011 you started.
May of 2011.
There.
So probably, but judging by how much you have done on it,
You saw the
maybe
picture.
2019.
Well, as I say, talking about man hours over 4 years, that guitar would be about $1.9 million.
Damn, you're expensive. $1.9 million.
I got nothing, yeah.
Damn, I need your job. Can I get a pay raise? Can I make what he's made? $1.9 million over the course of 4 years?
Well, it depends if he sells the.
Has genuine Max Jeffrey sweat and blood in it. True story.
Oh, no. I never.
So it has your DNA in it. We can replicate you.
I almost threw it out the window.
Okay, and man, maybe we should. Do you want to make this one a longer one? It's not that. This one is.
Do it.
Which one are you looking at?
The tone chambers.
I don't know that much about that.
I don't know either, to be honest with you. I mean,
do you know anything about tone chambers and guitars.
I know,
know,
weight
like-
relieved,
Weight relieved, and I know like Gibson started doing all their chambered Les Pauls.
but that was for weight, correct?
weight, yeah, and acoustically has supposed to have some different variants. I don't have enough experience with it. To
Yeah, that's something.
really chime in.
Let me do some research on that, and we'll
Sure.
get to that one maybe next episode. So if you guys have any questions or comments, or if you want to tell me how much I suck for offending people,
Travis Feaster, Travis at Wampler Pedals.
yeah, no, Travis Feaster at wamplerpedals.com.
That's Travis at Wampler
Hold on.
Pedals.
And don't you set that up. But no, leave questions and comments on the YouTube. We also take messages on Facebook, and even if you put it on Instagram, which
Or Travis's cell phone.
yeah, right. But by the way, I'm discontinuing my cell phone. But yeah, the Chasing Tone podcast on Facebook, Chasing Tone podcast on Instagram. Check out Max's blog. He writes a great blog.
Yeah,
Updates it very regularly. That's a hard word to say too.
it is regularly.
With and regularly, I've said today. I'm going to mix those in. But come on. Had to get that in there. So leave us comments, questions, anything. Hit us up. Check out Max's blog. Am I missing anything? Leave us a review on iTunes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
If you, that'd be great. And hopefully it's a good review, but honest review would be good too. There's
Sure.
a couple.
As long as it's good.
There's a couple ones on there. It's like, this one sucks.
Yeah.
But that's all right. You're gonna have that.
Yeah.
Can't please them all. Abraham Lincoln. But for Max and Brian, I'm Travis. Thank you guys so much for listening.